Yo, what is going on, y'all? V-Rob here. Today we'll be going on. I'll be breaking down my bold predictions for the upcoming 2019-2020 NBA season. There are 7 on this list that I want to tell you guys, and in my opinion, a lot of these can truly happen this upcoming season. So without further ado, let's break into it. And I know last year I did have a lot of questionable / bold predictions. Some of them worked, some of them didn't. But oh god, now you're giving me flashbacks.
But screw it! Lakers are going to the finals.
See, this the type of high that won't come down.
But without further ado, let's start off with number 1. Starting off with my first bold prediction for the 2019-2020 NBA season. It is about the Houston Rockets. And my bold prediction is Russell Westbrook and James Harden will work great, and the Houston Rockets will finish as a number 1 seed in the Western Conference. Obviously, with the move going to Houston, I feel this puts Russell Westbrook in the best position to win a championship than he has, obviously, the past 4 years with the Oklahoma City Thunder. Now, the problem is with this team, you have to look at the rest of the Western Conference and think to yourselves, there is no way in hell they are beating Anthony Davis and LeBron James in the playoffs. There is no way in hell they are beating Paul George and Kawhi Leonard in the playoffs. But you look at the regular season. You look at both Russell Westbrook and James Harden, what they were able to do the past 3 years without each other, and how good their usage rate has been. Obviously, it has been very high, but they have just been absolutely amazing regular season players. 2 of the last 3 years, the MVP has been won by a Houston Rocket that is now on the team. So I feel with that, their play style, obviously Russell Westbrook off the ball is going to be kind of skeptical. I have seen some practices from the Rockets training camp with Westbrook playing off the ball, and it just does not look that good, y'all. I feel if you have James Harden play more off the ball and become more of a spot-up shooter, I'm not saying James Harden just has to sit in the corner the entire game, but what I'm saying is that taking the ball up, possession rate, I feel Russell Westbrook should have the ball in his hands about, I'll say 65 to 70% of the time, and the other 30% should be with James Harden. But I think you also have a team full of shooters. You got Eric Gordon, you got PJ Tucker, you have a solid big man in Clint Capella who's improving every single season. If he can work on his defensive game, that can help this team so much because they are such a small starting lineup. You also look at the bench, you have players like Gerald Green coming off the bench for them. I feel with all that included, and you include Russell Westbrook to the squad instead of having Chris Paul there last year, I think the energy is going to be there every single night. I think the enthusiasm is going to be there every single night. And I can really see this team with the abilities they got, what we've seen in the regular season of past years with both Harden and Westbrook, they can be the number 1 seed in the Western Conference. Playoff-wise, that's another story. Now going on to my second bold prediction for the upcoming NBA season. Number 2 is about the Indiana Pacers, and that is if Oladipo returns by early December, so about December 10th, I'll say, the Indiana Pacers can, and in my opinion, will likely finish as the number 1 seed in the Eastern Conference. The reason why I think this of the Indiana Pacers, you look at how good they were playing up until mid-January when Victor Oladipo got injured against the Toronto Raptors in Indiana. They were playing absolutely amazing. They were the number 3 seed in the Eastern Conference. They were right behind the Milwaukee Bucks and the Toronto Raptors. In my opinion, I really could have seen this team finish as the 2nd or 3rd seed last year if Oladipo stayed healthy. They were really making strides. He was only averaging about 19 a game, but then other players like Bojan started to step up, Miles Turner started to step up, and now you have Malcolm Brogdon there. Obviously, yes, they did lose Bojan Bogdanovic, who was a very solid talent. Overall, great player for that team. But you look at the squad they got, I think Malcolm Brogdon is really going to help the team. They kept Corey Joseph. They kept a very solid core around Victor Oladipo. So when he comes back, I think the scoring is going to be very well balanced. They have an amazing coach who, in my opinion, could win Coach of the Year this year. He should have won it last year. But as a whole, I am so impressed with this team, how aggressive they are, how physical they play, and I feel that can boost them to the number 1 seed this year in the Eastern Conference. I think the biggest road ahead of them to get to that point is obviously the Milwaukee Bucks and the Philadelphia 76ers with Leslie Matthews, with Giannis Antetokounmpo, with Chris Middleton. It's going to be very tough to have a better record than that, but they can build up their team chemistry. If they can get these solid wins, if they can win close games, if Oladipo can close, I can really see this team be the number 1 seed in the Eastern Conference. Going to number 3 on my bold predictions list for the upcoming NBA season. This one is a wild one, so bear with me. But my third bold prediction is about the New York Knicks.
You what?
My prediction is that the New York Knicks will compete for the number 8 spot in the NBA playoffs for the Eastern Conference. Now this bold prediction right here, y'all. Yes, you have to bold this prediction. I'm talking about 15 font, Times New Roman, bold, italics, underline, whatever you want to do. My reasoning behind this. You look at the squad they got in the New York Knicks. You obviously look at Dennis Smith Jr., R.J. Barrett, Julius Randle, Kevin Knox, Mitchell Robinson. A very young but very talented starting lineup. Off the bench, you got Reggie Bullock, Marcus Morris, Bobby Portis, Elfrid Payton, Wayne Allen. You might look at that team and think I'm crazy, but I see a team with a lot of potential right there. I think Dennis Smith Jr. had a really solid season last year, especially when he got traded to New York. I think him and DeAndre Jordan fit really well with that team. You look at R.J. Barrett and what he was able to do last year with Duke with Zion Williamson. I expect him to be a very, very solid scorer in the NBA. I think it will take him time to realize that, you know, he can't just drive to the basket. He can't just put one move on guy and get an easy layup. It will be a lot more difficult for him to score, but I think with his talent level, with his ability to score, he will be an all-star one day. You also look at Kevin Knox and Julius Randle, who both had great strides last season, especially Julius Randle, who became the first scoring option when Anthony Davis went out with the New Orleans Pelicans. Him and Drew Holiday really rode that. And then you look at Reggie Bullock and Elfrid Payton as a backcourt for the bench. I think that's very solid as well. As a whole, especially with Marcus Morris and Taj Gibson and Bobby Portis coming off the bench, you have a very solid lineup, a very solid rotation that there are a lot of weaknesses, and from a talent level, there are a lot better teams in the Eastern Conference, but you look at the Sixers, the Bucks, the Pacers, the Celtics, the Nets, I'll even say the Pistons and the Heat. I think those 7 teams, maybe even the Raptors, but I feel the Knicks can compete with the Raptors, the Pistons, and the Heat for those last final 6, 7, 8 spots in the Eastern Conference playoffs. Going on to number 4, it is about the Golden State Warriors. My 4th bold prediction for the upcoming NBA season is that, despite the trade rumors, D'Angelo Russell will play the entire NBA season with the Golden State Warriors. This one right here, you can look at it as a bold prediction. I don't think it is, honestly. There has been a huge rumor that D'Angelo Russell could be traded by the trade deadline, by February, by when Klay Thompson, whenever he comes back. But I really feel that they're going to mesh well with D'Angelo Russell and Steph Curry from an offensive perspective. Defensively, I think it has the potential to be a mess. But you look at D'Angelo Russell, what he was able to do last year with the Brooklyn Nets, giving you 22, 7, and 4. Very young as well. Signed a 4-year deal this summer with the Golden State Warriors and signed a trade for Kevin Durant to go to Brooklyn. I think they keep him. I think offensively this is going to be a very dangerous team. I think he's going to average around 25 points a game next year before Klay Thompson comes back. And when Klay comes back, yes, it will be very, very small, putting Draymond at the 4, Klay at the 3. But I'm excited from an offensive standpoint. They're going to be a very exciting team to watch. Defensively, I worry a lot, and I mean a lot, about Steph Curry and D'Angelo Russell holding up the backcourt. Going on to number 5, it is about the Dallas Mavericks. My 5th bold prediction for the upcoming NBA season is that the Dallas Mavericks will make the 2020 NBA playoffs. This right here, y'all, I am really excited to see how the Dallas Mavericks do this upcoming NBA season. You look at they were able to do this summer and bring in Tim Hardaway Jr., bring in Seth Curry, bring in DeLon Wright. Obviously, Tim Hardaway Jr. didn't come earlier in the season, but I'll just count it as an offseason acquisition, along with Kristaps Porzingis. Kristaps Porzingis, in an interview with ESPN, said that he has never felt better at the point he is right now. We know what Kristaps Porzingis brings to the floor. We know how aggressive, how physical he can be on the offensive end. One of the best post players, a big man that can shoot. Before he got injured with the New York Knicks, we were looking at Kristaps Porzingis as a future, I wouldn't say all-time great, but a future top 10 player in this league. You look at DeLon Wright, who will probably be starting at point guard for this team. Gave you 12 points a night last year with the Memphis Grizzlies. Obviously, he did have an injury. He only played 26 games last season. But also bringing in Tim Hardaway Jr., who honestly I am a huge fan of. You look at Tim Hardaway Jr., giving you 19 points a night last year with the New York Knicks. I am so excited to see what he can do next year and how he can fit along with Luka Doncic, who played absolutely amazing last year, giving you 27 and 7 for a rookie. He is way ahead of his class, and I feel with the talent they got, where Luka is progressing as a player, as a person, and where Kristaps Porzingis might be when he returns, this team can be the number 8 seed in the Western Conference. Going on to number 6, it is about no other than the Philadelphia 76ers. The Philadelphia 76ers, my bold prediction, will make the 2020 NBA Finals. Obviously, last year, if you guys watched the channel at all, you guys didn't know I was really rooting for Ben Simmons and the Sixers to make it to the finals out of any single team in the playoffs last year. I feel this is their year. I think getting Al Horford, getting Tobias Harris back, getting Josh Richardson, who I think is going to fit very well with Ben Simmons, I think this is their year. Obviously, shooting is a problem, but defensively, no person on the starting lineup is smaller than 6'6". They are very athletic. They have the veteran leadership of Al Horford now. My biggest concern for the team is who's going to be the closer, who's going to be that person to take over the game in late game situations. Did Joel Embiid work on his fatigue? Did Joel Embiid work on his fatigue this season? That is what we need to know, yo. That is what we need to know, yo. It is just that simple. I'm expecting a big year from Joel, probably around 28 points a night along with 13 rebounds. I expect a lot from Al Horford. As for Tobias Harris, I see him as the second scoring option for the team. Expecting a lot from Ben Simmons also. As a whole, I'm expecting a lot from the team. I mean, just picked them to go to the NBA Finals. But I think this is their year. I think the only thing that can stop this team is Giannis Antetokounmpo from the Eastern Conference, or if Kevin Durant makes a return and is like 100%. This bold prediction right here, I'm going to be honest with you guys, I'm not really feeling this one, but I want to throw it in because there is a possibility, and I do believe that there is a chance. My last and final bold prediction for the 2020 NBA season is that Kevin Durant will return this season. Kevin Durant, obviously, guys, we know the rumors all summer, really from the past few weeks, from reporters from the New York Times, people out of the Nets camp, people just out around the NBA, saying that Kevin Durant might come back this year. People are saying it's not likely. In my opinion, I think there is a chance. I think Kevin Durant might come back around February or March. February would make the 8-month mark from when he did get injured. And if you look at the Kobe Bryant table, he returned in 8 months. Got injured in February, returned in December. Does Kevin Durant want to do that, though? He is 4 younger than Kobe Bryant when he ruptured his Achilles. But you look at Kobe Bryant, played 6 games and then tore his knee. So, do you want to risk that? In my opinion, I wouldn't, but I would not throw out the idea that Kevin Durant will not return this season, because I think there is a true possibility of that happening towards the later end of the year. And that will do it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to comment down your bold predictions for this upcoming 2020 NBA season. If you agree or disagree with mine, make sure to comment that down below. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you guys are new. Thank you so much for the support. Cannot thank you enough. We are just a few weeks, exactly 3 weeks away from the day I'm recording this video till the NBA season. I am so excited for this, you guys. I think this is going to be one of the best seasons yet from a competitive standpoint and from an entertainment standpoint. I am so excited. All these bold predictions took a lot of time, so make sure you leave a like on the video. Like I said, subscribe, show some love. All love for 19. VR was out to sing y'all. VR season approaching. Peace! Skittle, let's go.